Welcome everybody to this next lecture on genetic algorithms. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the crossover operation and the different types of crossover which can be carried out. For explaining the different type of crossovers, we are going to make use of the binary encoding scheme. Though, depending upon the type of encoding scheme, there may be some variations which could be used. Okay, so let's get started with. First, just briefly try to recollect what crossover is. So, crossover is nothing but a process to generate the new individuals in which any two parents they are selected and the parts of the parent structure or the selected solutions they are swapped to form the new solutions or the new chromosome structures such that some features from both the selected parents they are inherited in the new offsprings which are generated. In this thing we should be very clear. The two individuals or the members which are selected for performing the crossover, they are called parents. Whereas after performing the crossover, whatever resultant chromosomes we get or the individuals we get, those are known as your offsprings. Okay, so in our discussion, these terms would be used off and on, so you should be familiar with that. So as you can see in this diagram, so it is very well showing you the animation that the part of this, these are the two parents, it is going to come here. So this is one offspring, and in the other offspring, the part which was removed from here, that will go and get attached here, that would be forming the second offspring. Now what is the need for that? This is the process of evolution in genetic algorithms, because using this operation we are going to evolve the new set of solutions in a effort to get a better fit solution for our given problem. Okay, so though we are carrying out this crossover operation to help in the schema growth, schema means the growth of your or the building up of your solutions or good solutions or population of good solutions, but it may lead to destruction of the schema also. You may get the offsprings which are rather having a lower fitness than their parents. So that is the fair possibility, because before we carry out the crossover we don't know what the resultant it is going to be. Though we choose our parents with the maximum fitness, we try to choose it so that we are going to get the fit individuals. But whatever is the resultant, what is the fitness of that, that depends upon what we have formed as the offspring and what is the fitness function or the fitness criteria to measure their goodness. Now let's start with the types of operations or the types of crossovers which can be done. So considering the binary encoding scheme, the simplest form of crossover which can be carried out is your one point crossover or a single site crossover. In the single site crossover, any cross site is randomly selected along the length of the chromosome. Okay, and from that particular point, I divide by both the selected parents into two, you can say, parts, and I try to swap the parts which are of the same order. Okay, if this point of selection, that is a uniform point, that is a point where my chromosome it is equally divided, then I can have actually a crossover. Otherwise I have to swap the parts which are of the equal length only. For example, in this case I have two parents x1 and x2, or the two individuals x1 and x2. So I select my crossover site to be this point, that is after the fourth element. So at this site I am having an unequal division. So due to that unequal division, I have to remember that when I am going to do the swapping, I can swap these two element part with this two element part only, and this part with the four elements with this part with four elements only. Okay, I cannot do this kind of swapping. No diagonal swapping can be carried out. Okay, so what offsprings I am going to get is, I am going to have y1, in which by initial part it is retained, first four elements they are retained from x1, but the next two elements, the last two elements, they are coming from the parent x2. Whereas in the offspring y2, my first four elements, they are coming from the parent x2, whereas my last two elements, they are coming from the parent x1. So in this process of using a single site crossover, I have created a two new offsprings by simply swapping the parts from a randomly selected crossover site. Now instead of this, if I would have chosen a selection on a crossover point which was uniform, for example, I would have selected, let's say, this as my crossover point. Now in this case, these are equivalent. So I am dividing into two equal halves. There I could carry out the swapping as this. I could swap this part with this and this with this. So that is the crossover when I am going to do the equally divided portions of my chromosome. So this is my 2-point crossover. In case of the 2-point crossover, I choose two crossover sites. Okay. So in this case, consider my two parents, x1 and x2. So instead of uh, having a single point site for crossover, I have two sites for crossover. First is occurring after the third element of my chromosome, whereas the next is occurring after 8 elements of my chromosome. Okay. So again, whenever I am using a non-uniform division of the chromosome for crossover, I have to remember that I can only swap the parts which are equal in length. Okay, I cannot change the length of the chromosome. So this has to be followed strictly. So I've created or I've divided my chromosome into three parts. Okay, so this is of the equivalent. So in offspring 1, what I do is I simply swap this middle region between the two crossover sites. Okay, whereas I retain this first and the third partition from my x1 parent. So this is my y1, in which this middle region, it is taken from the parent x2, whereas the first and the third division, that is taken from the parent x1. So in case of y2, so in this case, my this middle region, that is taken from x1, and this first and the third part, they are taken from the parent x2. So I am having two different offsprings which are formed using 2-point crossover. This can be extended to a multi-point crossover also. So in case of multi-point crossover, it means I have more than two sites for the crossover, and I have to follow this simple rule that I can swap the intermediate parts, but with the restriction that only the uh, same length parts, they can be swapped between the two parents. Okay, so this was all about your 2-point crossover and your multi-point crossover. Next we come to is the uniform crossover. The uniform crossover can be thought as an extreme of the multi-point crossover. In the uniform crossover operation, each bit from either parent is selected with a probability of 0.5 and then interchanged. We can see this with the help of an example. We create a mask. So when I create a mask, what I do is I'm going to so so in this case what we do is we make use of a mask. So in this case I create a mask. Mask is actually created to change the values of the bit positions randomly, assuming that each bit position is having the probability of changing its value from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0 with a probability of 0.5. That is 50% chances are there that a bit will change its value. So I create a mask. In this case, what I have considered is value of 1 in the mask means that particular uh, bit position in the parent 1 will be changed in the offspring 1. So in this case, let's say my mask positions are having 1 and 2 places, that is corresponding to my first position and my uh, fifth position. Okay, so corresponding to this I have my mask values of 1. So if I see my this first offspring, I see that I have actually changed the bit values which was previously 0 from x1 to 1, and similarly it was 1, I have changed it to 0. So whatever was the mask position that I have at whenever in the mask my value was 1, so in my offspring 1 I change that particular bit from the parent 1. Okay, whereas rest of it remains the same. Okay, and for my offspring 2, what do I do is, with these bits which I have masked, they will take their values from the parent x1, whereas rest of the values which are having the mask of 0, they are going to take their value from the parent x2. So I hope we get this point clear, how my uniform crossover is performed and what is the role of the mask in this case. Next we go to is the last type of crossover, which is applicable for two-dimensional matrices, you can say, matrix representing a chromosome. So normally we have been doing the strings which are representing the 1D vectors or the 1D strings, but we can have a matrix also representing a chromosome. So in that case, I can make use of the matrix crossover. Let's say this is my one matrix which is representing a parent 1. There is my another matrix which is of the same order representing the parent 2. So if I am going to perform the crossover, I can just replace the complete element by element replacement from one parent to another. So wherever I have white spaces here in the offspring 2, those are going to be the shaded pink. Whenever I am going to have the shaded pink here, they are going to corresponding to white spaces that is coming from the parent x1. So that is, I think, quite easy to understand. So it is said to be a two-dimensional crossover. Here, two random sides along a row and column are said to be chosen, and the string is then divided into non-overlapping rectangular regions. So the two cross sides, both row and column wise, will decide which element will swap between the two parents. Okay. So this was all about the different type of crossover operations. I'm reiterating this point. Whatever types we have done, that is still with respect to only the binary encoding scheme. As we go for a different encoding scheme, these may not be always applicable to you. For example, if we are considering that sequence encoding that we use for the traveling salesman problem, in that case, I cannot make use of this 2-point crossover. I cannot afford to repeat a city again. Okay, and I cannot use a tree encoding also for that matter. So what I can do there is, there the crossover operation is performed differently. There we have the partially overlapped crossover as one type of operation which is available, or ordered crossover is another type of operation which is there. So if the crossover types also, they can be changed as per by encoding scheme. So thank you so much. This was all about my crossover types. In the next lecture, we'll talk about the different types of selection schemes which are used in genetic algorithms. Thank you.